Thank you so much for joining us. First, the last question I put to Mamu Nomvula is, woman president?
Well, you know, my view about that has always been we would like South Africa to have the best man for the job. And if the best man is a woman, it will make a better man than any man there is. I have great faith in women. I believe women possess an intuitive leadership role because that is just how they are. They have a sixth sense about them. And when you have a woman leader, there is nothing to beat that. But it must be the best person there is. I don't think women should settle for a token woman because we want women. And I am certain that amongst the women that is the best woman, that is the best man that South Africa will have. I have great faith in them, and I hope one day soon, I don't know when, we will have a woman president. Not because she's a woman, but because she's the best person for the job.
But as you rightly say, you believe in women leaders. Interestingly, though, ironically even, that this organization that is led by all women, because it's a woman organization, has been in tatters for a year. As an example, this NEC has exceeded its term of office. They're supposed to have had an elective Congress in 2013, and it would seem like they have many challenges. So best women leaders are not necessarily placed in these circumstances, is it?
But I think you're decontextualizing the Women's League from the society we live in. The society we live in is a patriarchal society. Women have a raw deal. For any woman to make it anywhere in life, they have to work twice as hard as a man. Because the baggage of being a woman in a patriarchal society where racism still and sexism is still part of what runs in everybody's mind, women are at a disadvantage. What we fought for was to make sure that we have a non-sexist society. What we have not put in place are those measures that will make it possible for women to take their place and be supported and given the natural right to be what they should be. This organization that we have here has had many challenges. Going back to the time when we came back from exile, they had the same problems. They've always had problems. This is not the first time we're having problems. And when we all make up our minds that we need to give the women the necessary opportunities that they deserve, these women, any woman who succeeds, whether it is NG or Batabile, should be given support, and they will make it. I promise you they will make it better than anybody else. We had the same challenges with the Youth League. Not because we have problems with youth, but because there are structural problems in the way that the ANC has been running itself, in adjusting to society, adjusting to making sure that there is democracy and there are certain processes that need to change. And I think this particular NEC is a victim of its own, the surrounding circumstances that they find themselves in.
At the time when many of you were activists, including Abomamu Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Abomamu Ruth Mompati, and many others, including yourself, it would seem like the challenges were clear, the fight was clear. Now, what are the main issues that this organization is fighting for, and also its relevance today?
Well, you've just pointed out the relevance of a women's organization to level the playing fields for women, so that women can compete fairly in a society where they have not had the opportunity to take their place. If you look at, as an index, if you look at the statistics around how young women are doing in universities and in education, women far exceed men, because they just have that capacity to do that. But put them in the context of a normal society. They are brought down not only by the structures of society and patriarchy, but by their own, because that is just how the oppressive mind works in distorting one's own identity and distorting how they support each other. This organization has a very vital significance in our society, equalizing the space in which women perform their responsibility, supporting women to reach their best. And when this organization is working, then South Africa will have the best there is, because the best there is in there.
This organization also represents the majority of the demographics of this country, which are black people, which is what the ANC represents mostly. But how would you, because it hasn't been done, how would you be able to reach out to the rest of the demographics so that it reflects South Africa as is?
Well, I think the messaging and the way that we work needs to change. This organization has changed the lives of every woman in South Africa, whatever the color. Women, white women, have been as oppressed as black women in different circumstances. This organization has changed that because it has put in the Constitution, out there in the public, that women are as good as men, that what we fought for is a non-sexist democracy. And that is what white women, Indian women, colored women, whatever it is, are enjoying today because we worked very hard to make sure that they get there. Now, the messaging and actually appealing to them is one of the most important things that we've got to attend to. Even the ANC is suffering from that. If you go to a normal rally of the ANC, you'll find what people sitting in their lounges watching rugby. But this democracy that we fought for, that they enjoy, in the same way that we probably will finally enjoy, has been fought for them. So there's something in the culture of our democracy that white people have not caught up to, and we've got to find ways of making sure that we can make them part and parcel of what we are about. For as long as we have pockets, demographic pockets as you talk about, we're going to have a problem. We've got to find a way, all of us, to build a national identity where each one of us is not black or white or Indian, but South African, and very proud of being South African. Because what we have inherited, most countries in the world only dream about. The icons we have, they only dream about. What we need to do is just get beyond the personal and make sure that we can be all-embracing and make sure that we provide for the future generation that which has been provided for us, a platform from which to grow because we have potential that is enormous.
She says men or women are as good as men. I dare say they're better. Mama Lindiwe Sisulu, thank you so much for joining us. We continue with the conversation here if you were to exit the stage that way. Thank you so much for joining us.